Holla.
He's with the millions.
It's that world heavyweight flow. Championship belt wrapped around my waist, yo. I got that Ric Flair figure flow. Slam you on the pavement, that's why they call me Street Pro. Create heat on beat flow. Like Jordan after the second time he three-peated, folks. Get ready, set, let's go. Fight toe to toe, release the flow created by this micro. Lights, camera, get low. Action packed, back to back. In fact, this monster will grow. Y'all better let him know. Man with the master plan, and you have no need to know. You came prepared, now get ready for the show.
Yo, 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 what up, what up, what up, friends? You know who it is. Omar, the sports professor Fonseca, Ballin' Buds, back at it again here today for a special, yes, I said it, special MLB Baseball World Series preview. Yes, we had the amazing Game 7 last night. You know we're going to talk all about it. We're also going to give you our season review. We're also going to give you our World Series preview. We also going to give you our awards pick, so don't you worry. We got it all in for you tonight before the World Series starts Friday, and I am joined by a special crew of my best MLB baseball insiders, and I am happy that they're here with me today. But first of all, make sure you subscribe to Ballin' Buds, BALLAND BUDS, handy QR code up there at the top. That'll take you to our link tree where you'll be able to find all of our social media. Subscribing at YouTube is most important. And by the way, hit that like button. It is free to you, but invaluable to us. So hit that like, whether on the live or on the replay. That being said, let's kick this bad boy off. All right, cool. So first of all, you know, a couple of people that have joined us before on the MLB shows this year that we've started doing a consistent one. First, we're going to start off with one of my oldest friends in the world. He goes by Amul, the Agilist from Ballin' Buds. What's up, my brother? How we doing today?
How's it going, sir? How you been?
I am
Good
well.
evening from Dayton.
Yes, I'm assuming you are visiting family. Happy Diwali to you, my friend.
I'm on a work trip. I'm on a business trip at the moment.
You know what? You just went for the sentimentality, but never mind. You're not good at those sentimental moments.
Diwali was last weekend, but thank you, sir.
I thought it was this week. Okay, well, you know what? See, look, I'm late already. Look at that.
Diwali was Sunday into Monday, so happy Diwali to all those who are watching, who observed, and lots of love and light this week to you this year.
There you go. Thank you. And blessings to everybody.
You're welcome.
I like that. I like that. Next, coming up, another Red Sox fan. I don't know how we got so many on one program, but he hails from there as well. And, you know, we've seen him before from the rec room. My brother, Lion Reese Penn. What's good, homie?
I mean, of course, you're running into Red Sox fans. Don't you know it's a nation? Red Sox nation, my friend. Yeah. And we're everywhere. It's a beautiful thing. What's going on, boys?
Hey, you know what? We were talking about another nation earlier, and that's the best nation ever and the only nation, the Raider Nation.
I wouldn't say that. I disagree with that.
Right.
Vehemently.
Okay, well, at least in football. How about that? Y'all can have it in baseball. That's fine. Anyways, now coming up.
Your football team isn't good.
Hey, you know what?
Your football team's awful, man.
Only for the past 20 years. Before that, we were really good. Okay? I don't want to hear anything. For
the most of our lifetime.
Run the mind. 2 decades on the street.
Hey, before we get copyrighted, I'm going to need you to turn that TV sideways there, Reese. You're going to get us copyrighted infringement with that TV on in the background. Yeah, I'm gonna
really?
That's yeah, they will get you on YouTube. Just know he is watching the MLB World Series preview. You're good. Next, coming up from Let's Talk Sports, our brother Alan Perales. What's up, AP? How you doing, bro?
Gotta love it, right? Gotta love it.
You gotta love it. Well, first, AP,
out here in the OKC, I know this is a baseball show, but out here in OKC, down the street, they got banner night tonight, opening night in the NBA. Got our first ring, baby. It's great.
Yes,
I love it.
That is right. It is a ball night tonight. NBA opening day, season opening night. Oklahoma City, AP's Oklahoma City will face off against the Houston Rockets with the newly acquired Kevin Durant. Reese, you will remember we predicted that Kevin Durant to the Rockets trade. He has now signed a $90 million.
The NBA did that on purpose too, right?
Yeah,
the NBA did that on purpose. It's like, oh, OKC banner night. We're gonna let Kevin Durant go in there night one.
And having them sign the extension right before they raise the banner. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The NBA has been involved in worse conspiracies over the years. We can talk about the Celtics getting screwed out of Tim Duncan. How about Ewing going to the Knicks, right? How about Luka just recently getting traded to the Lakers for nothing more than 80 and a ham sandwich in Dallas? So, look, the NBA has been a conspiracy since the great David Stern, may he rest in peace, was alive and running it like a mafia Gambino organization. But anyways, just quickly around the horn, who is your NBA champion this year? AP, I'm assuming I know.
Back to back. Why not? They're the best team in the West right now. I mean, I know Kevin Durant makes Houston a formidable competition, and if Dallas is healthy, that's a tough out. And you've always got to deal with Jokic in Denver. But right now, until you beat OKC, they're the team to beat.
I agree. Reese, what do you got? Who's your NBA champ?
Jason Tatum returns. And of course, we raised the banner, number 19, baby. You know?
Okay, God bless. I'm a Celtics fan.
That guy can go MVP. Why can't I go Boston Celtics? I don't understand.
Because OKC is the defending champion, and JT ain't coming back this year. That's a fever dream.
Listen, in reality, I think the Houston Rockets are the best team in the NBA this year.
Ooh, I like it.
I thought that's all they were missing was a killer. It was just a scorer at the end of the game. Yep. They can defend. Udoka has proven the way he can coach. He did it in Boston. He's doing it in Houston. That's a really good team. They didn't lose Sengun. They didn't lose any of the main pieces. They're going to be crazy scary if they're all there.
Agreed. Amul?
I'm partial to OKC, but I kind of want to see the T-Wolves win it all. I think I may have mentioned this in previous years. Okay. The way Ant-Man is playing, like, why not? Like, he's got a good surrounding cast. You know, it's got to break for him at some point. Otherwise, he's just going to be without a ring. But, yeah, if not many, then definitely OKC.
Anthony Edwards is headed towards the Kevin Garnett kind of thing, where he's going to stay there a while, not win anything, and have to go somewhere to win, I believe.
Hey, where would he go, though? That's the thing. Like, do you think he would team up with, Tatum in Boston, or strike out on his own and be a Knick?
I don't know, because we're talking 5 years in the future. We don't know what will be, who will be good, et cetera.
That's true.
But I just don't think the Wolves are going to win a ring. I just don't over there.
Yeah.
I think there's a possibility they could. The problem is that they can't finish in some instances. That was their problem That was their problem last year. You're definitely better than the Lakers, an aging Lakers team. But you're going up against teams that are faster, quicker, can defend the block better. You're going to run out of gas eventually. So especially if you go up against the Houston, OKC, Denver, it's very top heavy in the West right now. So I just don't think Anthony Edwards by himself could potentially. I mean, what if he with Wemby?
Wow, and De'Aaron, that's crazy. That's crazy.
That would be awesome, provided that nobody else leaves.
You are right,
a 1-for-1 swap.
If anybody can pull that move off, it would probably be Greg Popovich for sure.
You are right about one thing. The West is overall the stronger conference, especially with the injuries to Jason Tatum and Tyrese Halliburton.
It always has been for like the last
but the East actually started to catch up a little bit there in the
a little bit, but it's still the JV conference. It usually has 4 legit teams at best, where in the West, the 8th seed is a legitimate basketball team.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I got OKC.
That's why they call it
the
That's why for the last 20 years, Omar, they called it the Eastern Conference.
Right. I mean, hey, look, I'm not going to sit here and deny that they haven't been as good, but they were starting to catch up within this decade, and now that those injuries, they're like even further behind. But
ever since Michael Jordan retired, the Eastern Conference just has not been the same.
Exactly.
It really has not.
That's a fair point, actually.
That is true. And yeah, as much as I hate to see back-to-backs, I do think OKC will win back-to-backs. But since I do not like to see back-to-back, I am doing the ultimate Cardinal sin. I predicted it on Bobby G's show last week. It made me throw up. I had to go throw up immediately. The New York Knickerbockers.
Why are you doing this to yourself? We're gonna have to carry your show again. We're gonna have to carry your show again, like, which I don't mind, to be honest. But while he throws up, I don't think the Knicks are gonna win. I don't.
Are you just a glutton for punishment, Omar? Is that why you keep doing this to yourself?
That's bad. I hate that comes out of my mouth. But look, man, they're prime. The East is open, and they are one of the top.
I will say this on the East, Omar. Do not be surprised if we see the Detroit Pistons in the Eastern Conference Finals.
They're coming in the next few years. For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
no team with Cat as one of its best players is winning anything but a beauty pageant.
I knew that was coming.
Freaking guy is never winning anything.
All right, cool. Let's talk about who's winning. First of all, AP, let them know where they can find you, please.
Yeah, so you can find me on Let's Talk Sports every Tuesday night, Wednesday night, of course. Also on the Rec Room Sports every Tuesday, Thursday, or not Tuesday, Thursday, but Tuesday, Saturday, and Sunday. Over on Rec Room Sports Hub, we'll be doing a show tonight. No wrestling show tonight, but we'll be doing the Rec Room later tonight at about 10 o'clock Eastern. So should be a fun time.
Not to be confused with Reese's Rec Room, so I'm not sure what's happening here.
I was just about to say, I was like, oh, that's crazy. I've never seen him on the show. But also the Rec Room, I don't know if it's spelled the same as WRECK. But anyways,
that's great.
Yeah, that's the YouTube channel, Rec Room, but on IG, it's Lion Alone.
Yeah, it's spelled differently. It's spelled differently. Okay. It's REC. It's REC, not WREC.
Oh, okay. You're good then. Yeah,
we're good.
Yeah,
we can tell the
totally,
lawyers
that's
to put
two
the papers
totally
down.
Different meetings.
Yeah,
cool. Put the papers down. He's good. Never mind.
Yeah. Put the boxing gloves away.
Amul, where can they find you?
AM23 Photography, as always. Things have slowed down a little bit for me, but they'll pick up here soon now that I'm feeling better and I'm out and about and shooting again. So you'll have a Halloween dump for me in the next few dump of photos in the next few weeks, and then some stuff in November and December to close it out. I don't know what I'll be shooting, so stay tuned.
Thank you for clarifying a photo dump and not your regular dump, because no one wants to see that.
No,
all right, let's go.
Stop that. Stop.
Moving on. Stop holding up. What is that? Rape? Oh, my God.
Since we were talking football earlier, let's talk a team actually doing well.
Yeah.
Look, the Patriots are on a high that they are about to come down from and feel very, very sad.
Crazy.
They have had a very easy schedule thus far.
We beat the Bills in Buffalo.
One good win doesn't make you a championship team.
One good win. We have 5 of them. I know you Raider fans can't count that high. We got 5 of them.
I don't count the Raiders as 1, so you don't have 5. You have 4 then. All right, get out of here. And the Panthers, get out of here. I don't want to hear that. Anyways, let's go into the baseball season. There were a lot of surprises. We're going to go around the horn and get everybody's thoughts on the season in whole, but also their favorite moments from the season. Some of those moments, though, include, as we know, probably the biggest star of the year, so to say, the big dumper. Cal Raleigh, 60 home runs, not just for a player, but for a catcher, is just crazy. Obviously, the Dodgers being strong as well. So many things. Detroit leading for the first half of the season and then completely falling to the Guardians. Baltimore not even getting out of the gate. Devers getting traded from Boston to the Giants. We had the MLB All-Star home run swing off, a first ever. I mean, there was so many things that happened this year. We'll start with you, Amul. What was your favorite thing this year? What did you think about the season as a whole?
My favorite thing, as always, is going to be opening day. It doesn't matter where it is. It's just going to a game on opening day. As far as what surprised me, it was Denver's collapse. Not Denver's. Oh, my God, I'm so tired from the day. Detroit's collapse. Yeah, it's been a long day. Detroit's collapse, which to me was like as epic as, I don't know, like just you lead for so long and it just doesn't work. What'd I do? No,
I thought you were about to say like the Mets collapse, but you didn't take it.
No, I wasn't even thinking about the Mets actually. But if you want me to talk about your beloved Mets, I can. Okay. Those were I would say I'll lead off with that. The opening day is always my favorite, and then Detroit was my biggest shock. So my biggest surprise.
How'd you feel about the season?
Man, it was a lot of fun, man. It was great. Obviously, for me, it was definitely fun. It was the first time we were legitimate in a while, or at least pretty good. Cal Raleigh season was just incredible. From a catcher, to do it at any position was a phenomenal season, but at catcher was just. Exactly. I don't know if I want to say unfathomable, because obviously we just saw it, but I didn't think I would see that kind of season from a catcher. And obviously what it led Seattle to do, I mean, they were literally a couple innings away or an inning away from being in the World Series this year. I mean, that's something that even Ken Griffey couldn't do, So I thought that year was great. And who was the kid in Oakland making all those fantastic catches? That was probably one of my favorite parts.
He is a phenomenal player.
He's a phenomenal player.
Those catches were
Denzel something.
Yes. Something with
I'll look it up. Denzel Clark.
Denzel Clark. Thank you. I knew it was something with a C, but yeah,
between him and Brett Rooker, I like what the A's are doing.
Yeah, I mean, we always like what the A's are doing. It's crazy. They don't have a dollar to spend, but they just always seem to kind of put together all these little pieces that are a lot of fun to watch. It'll be interesting to see them in Vegas. We'll see what happens there.
Yeah, Peach, too much talking about dumps going on here. I think we should have PG-13 this. Put the earmuffs on the kids in the background. Hey, Pete, what you think?
I mean, obviously watching Cal Raleigh was phenomenal all season long. I mean, dude literally made a second guess whether Aaron Judge should be MVP or not, which is something not many people have done here the last couple of years. So I like as even though I am a Rangers fan, I like what I saw from Cal Raleigh this year. He did something that not many people have done. We talk about Detroit's collapse. At least they didn't have the second highest payroll in baseball and not even make the postseason. What happened to the Mets? What happened to the Mets?
I want to say this.
I was being nice.
Omar, who called that Mets collapse? Who called that when we had our baseball podcast?
Reese did.
Well, here's the thing.
Talking about it.
Here's the thing. As baseball fans, we knew the Reds were going to get swept by the Dodgers, but at least they accomplished the goal they were supposed to. Make sure the Mets didn't get to the playoffs.
The Mets collapse was epic.
You guys it beat Alonso leaves again, so
Well, look. The Mets have consistently, failed in the last month of the season. This is not the first time or the second time or the third time over the past 20 years that the Mets have had a lead going into September. This time they had a lead halfway through the damn season, the best team in the league, and still, as AP astutely mentioned, were unable to make the playoffs. It's a horrible, abhorrent shame for a team with such a payroll. Too up and down of a team. It is going to suck if Alonso walks. I'm hoping we would just put the money up and keep him a few years at a high AAV, but we'll see what happens there. Either way, the Mets were a complete and utter disappointment.
Somebody needs to be fired over there, period. If somebody should be fired, it's a travesty. Someone needs to be losing a job over there, or one or two guys.
And somebody should queue up. It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday to you, Omar, because clearly you're hurting from the Mets.
They gotta play they gotta play like the '80s Mets jingle every time the Mets.
Okay, yeah, do that. By all means.
Meet the Mets. Meet the Mets. Step right up and greet the Mets.
I will say I've done a lot of digging so far with the offseason stuff. 2 teams already in talks with Alonso are the Rangers and the Red Sox. So
yeah,
those are 2 teams that are already kind of talking with Pete Alonso.
Sox will sign him. I think the Sox will sign him.
Even and Omar, I think you might not like this. The Atlanta Braves have talked.
Sir.
Been rumored to be potentially.
Don't be bringing any of that blasphemous.
They may need a first baseman soon. So and a healthy Ronald Acuna.
And to go back to that Cal Raleigh praise, we don't even talk about it. The 60 home runs early, but it's the most home runs by a switch hitter. And that's a big deal when you think of the great switch hitters that have played the game, like Mickey and whatnot. So,
and I think he even tied the most home runs Judge has had in since 22 or something like that. I saw that earlier just a couple nights ago. So Raleigh deserves all the credit he can get this year. Hopefully he gets MVP. Hopefully.
I just don't think he beats Aaron Judge for the MVP with the numbers.
I agree with you with the numbers, but isn't it? Yeah.
Go ahead.
To me, it shouldn't be about the numbers. It should be most valuable player.
I agree.
That is in the title.
If I had a vote, Cal Raleigh is my MVP, but I'm just saying.
This is why I don't trust any MLB writers whatsoever, because they never know what they're talking about.
I mean, Seattle made it further than New York, so shouldn't Raleigh be given? We
don't count the playoffs. It's not a playoff award. They have playoffs.
They technically don't count the playoffs,
but still,
I will
if you say you don't count the playoffs, why am I getting notifications that he tied Aaron Judge, for the first time since 22? Like that, it doesn't compute to me. So,
well, the thing about it is that it's not just that he's a catcher. It's not just that he's a switch hitter. But it's that all of the things that go along with being a catcher. That is the captain of the team. That is the quarterback. That is the point guard.
Right.
That is the person that is making sure everything that's happening on the field is directed correctly, because they are the one that is in charge of everything. So to have those responsibilities and still be able to hit as well as he did and squat as much as he does with how big he is, I know his legs got to be hurting. It's an accomplishment within itself. So
I will say this quickly about my own team real quick. Of all the great pitching we saw in Texas this year, between Eovaldi, between DeGrom and everything, the most impressive I've been this year was with Jack Leiter. Jack Leiter last year, obviously getting called up middle of the season, did not look great. He struggled a lot, gave up a lot of runs. This year, it seems like he's found his form. He's finally found his strikeout pitch. He's definitely improved. I've been very impressed with him in his second year in the league. And it makes me feel better knowing that even if we do lose DeGrom and Eovaldi in the future, we'll still have a Jack Leiter, Kumar Rocker coming up, and then a couple others. So I'm feeling good about that.
I love this guy to my side. He keeps making me look fantastic. I called that Mets collapse, which he brought up, and I called Jack Leiter's emergence this year, which he's bringing up now on an MLB preview. I mean, he's just making me look great right now.
They have some good young pitchers there. I don't know why they would lose DeGrom already when he just signed there. I would think he would have some loyalty after they keep him for the Tommy John. But anyways, okay, cool. Well, let's move it into the MLB playoffs. Thus far, let me go ahead and throw up this bracket for us so we can take a look at what has happened.
A lot has happened.
There we go.
At least since I've been on last.
You are very correct about that. So here we go. Here is what has happened thus far. Obviously, we talked about the Detroit Tigers. They got overtaken by Cleveland in the regular season, but went back to take it in the postseason. Obviously, y'all's Red Sox were not even able to get past your rival Yankees, who went on to then lose badly to the Blue Jays, which if I remember correctly, in my A+B=C math, that means that the Blue Jays are way better than the Red Sox. Just wanted to say that. Moving on, the Seattle Mariners beat the Detroit Tigers in a very close series. Obviously, Game 7, we will talk about that in just a moment. Dodgers, complete domination throughout the playoffs. Beating the Reds, then beating the Phillies, and then sweeping the Brewers. Complete domination. I think they lost one time this whole playoffs. And then you got the Cubs, the upstart Cubs. They're looking good for the future. Were able to take out San Diego, but lost to their division rival Brewers, who were the best team all year. And then, as I mentioned, went out and got completely demolished and swept by the Dodgers. So let's first talk about that Dodgers team and what they did going through this postseason and beating the Brewers in 4 games. AP, we're going to start with you on this one.
I mean, you kind of expected it, didn't you? Because this is kind of historically what the Milwaukee Brewers are. They get to the NLCS, but they can never win a game or get past that round. They've always been snake bitten like that. I'm very impressed of what they did to the Phillies, though. That's something I did not see coming. I did not see them dominating the Phillies like they did. So hats off from them. And again, but the Reds only had one mission and they accomplished it. So I kind of knew they were getting knocked out of the playoffs at that point. But yeah, the Dodgers, obviously, as long as Shohei Ohtani's on that roster, they're going to be a hard team to stop regardless, because that just up and down, left and right, money. That's all. That's been the big story for the Dodgers, is that they have the highest payroll, the highest paid roster. Here they are in the World Series once again for the second straight year.
Yeah, no doubt about that. What were your thoughts about the NL side of the bracket and the Dodgers there, Reese?
I mean, we talked about it on the MLB preview when we did that early in the year, Omar, and I told you everyone was playing for second. At the end of the day, when it comes to war, it's all about the weapons you have, and this team just has way too many. They've got more money than Jeff Bezos, like I've said before. They just continue to spend. And they've got, Hall of Famers through the lineup and Cy Young winners through the rotation. I don't know how you compete with that. They've got 2 guys with a sub-1 ERA. The next 2 guys have a 2 and a sub-2 ERA. Their lineup is just, you know what it is. Ohanti's incredible. He might end up being the best baseball player we've ever seen. Mookie's a gamer. He's hitting 300 in these playoffs, and he's ready to put on a show in the World Series. It's what he does. It was the second worst trade in baseball was losing Mookie Betts. The first one was, they're both on us. Anyways.
Yeah.
But
it's okay. We'll talk about it there. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah. But they ran through the NL, and I think that they're probably about to run through the Blue Jays. They're just too good, man.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, like you said, they are stacked, jacked, and action-packed, as I like to say. That team is a monstrosity. It is a dream team of epic proportions. Shout out to Mookie, who is from here in Nashville, from the Ville. So shout out Mookie.
They've got 4 aces. I mean, if they were a poker
hand, 4 aces. They have 4 Hall of Famers already. Hold on. Their salary, I looked this up. Their salary is equivalent to the GDP of Egypt. Are you kidding me? They're 40. They're equivalent to 45th. Egypt's 45th right now, according to the IMF. But they just have a modern day murderer's row of that's who I think of. I think of the old school Yankees from the 20s, and
they weren't spending that much money.
They weren't, but it will be very hard to beat the Dodgers. I'm not going to be rooting for them. I haven't been rooting for them all playoffs. But
let's be honest. We're all Blue Jay fans. We're all Blue Jays fans. Playing the Dodgers fans this year.
Yeah, we're all Blue Jays fans. Also, they have the GDP equivalent of Greece, by the way. The Blue Jays do. Just thought to put that out there. So I had to look it up. I had to. Mm-hmm. But I also think that I also think that
this is why I love baseball. We track everything in baseball.
The Jays actually might have a slightly inside track, a little bit, and I might be tipping off later conversation.
Well, hold on. Yeah, hold on. Don't be tipping off conversation. Hold your stats. Anyways, let's move on.
I will say this: Bobby Bonilla is laughing his ass off, saying, "Big deal, I did it first."
Oh, you know what? Whatever. We'll finish your point and let's move.
But at the same time, it's like, yeah, the Dodgers have a stacked roster. But I really do think the Blue Jays might have a shot. So we'll see.
Okay. Omar, do you celebrate Bobby Bonilla Day? Do you like go out for a drink and toast or something?
He's still gonna get.
I celebrate by crying in my bed, wondering who would make such a stupid fucking decision.
My idea. We do this. We discussed this on our show. Our idea was they should just make a day out of it. Have him come out, throw the first pitch, get his check, and make a day out of it.
Well, I mean, that's what
make it an actual holiday. Make Bobby
Bonilla bobblehead night.
No, I mean, you know what's funny is that Steve Cohen has actually pitched that idea himself, the owner, and was like, I'm thinking about just handing him a big fat check on the field every year just to make like a show out of it. So maybe it will happen. I don't know. All I know is him and his agent are some of the smartest ever for that shit. But also the Mets are dumb as shit for believing in that Ponzi scheme, or at least
and that's why they should do it though. The Mets need something to celebrate every baseball season.
Okay, you know what? We're not going to keep doing this. We're not going to keep piling on my Mets. Okay, we're already out of the playoffs. Now we're stopping.
They were out of the playoffs when the season started.
At the very least, Omar, you're not a Yankee.
No. Hold on. I'm gonna come to Omar's defense for a second. The Rockies were out of the playoffs the minute the minute the season started. The Mets, it took them a couple months, and that's okay. Sometimes that happens. But the Rockies, I think we could pile on because
the Mets just fell out of contention for the 2026 postseason right now. I just heard the alert.
Oh my God, what is happening right now? All right, we're going to come back to the center because we got something else to talk about that's more important than my Mets and what y'all feel about them. And that
what about the 2027 postseason? Sorry.
Was Shohei Ohtani performance the greatest performance of all time? Look, man, we got to start talking about Shohei. Look at his performance in that clinching game. He was a pitcher, 10 strikeouts over 6 innings, 2 hits, no runs, 3 home runs. First of all, is this the greatest baseball performance of all time? Is this the greatest sports performance of all time? And is Ohtani the greatest baseball player of all time already? It is a 3-pronged question, and we come to you first, Reese.
The last question was, is he the greatest? And absolutely not yet. Could he be? Yes. He has all the potential to be and everything, but he's not there yet. You're crazy. You're telling me if he retired right now, he's the GOAT?
I'm asking the questions.
No,
I'm not saying what I thought. Just asking questions, sir. Don't get mad at the moderator, please. I'm just the host, okay?
I'm just saying, this is like when people try to tell me that Patrick Mahomes is the GOAT, and I'm like, come on, he's 30 years old. Like, there's no way he's the GOAT right now. So, absolutely not, but he definitely
not even the best right now.
He did have the greatest baseball performance, though, that we've ever seen.
He's not even the best fantasy player right now.
So, baseball performance wasn't the best sporting performance ever.
No, why would you? Sorry,
no. What do you think, Amul? What's better, Jordan flu
why
game?
Why would you
Tiger on an
Achilles? Why would you slander Jordan like that? You don't stop asking this question. Stop immediately. No.
I mean, some of those Usain Bolt,
but the flu game wasn't a playoff game either, though, right?
Doesn't matter. MJ is still going to be the greatest in the modern era. You know that.
And it wasn't the flu. He had food poisoning. Remember, we saw.
That's right.
We saw The Last Dance.
Food
poisoning, guys. So the food poisoning game. But no, this was the greatest baseball performance for sure. Sports performance, we could have a whole freaking talk show or a whole show devoted to that and debating what the greatest sports performance is. There's been so many historical ones, but definitely the greatest baseball.
Kobe scoring 60 in his retirement game?
Yeah.
Let's be honest. He jacked up 116 shots. They were just letting him score. They basically said, Kobe, you're going out with 50 plus.
You know,
I don't think I've ever seen anyone take that many attempts in a game. Like ever.
No. It turned into a playground game for him.
Yeah,
I mean,
They
it was
were
fun. It
messing
was
around.
fun. I
That's all he
love
was doing, was
Kobe,
just messing around.
but that was Cal Ripken getting one groove down the middle. Let's be honest. Everyone was just having fun.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, Cal Ripken taking shots for no reason whatsoever.
No, but I mean, no.
Excuse us,
Cal
the great
Ripken
Cal
shade here.
Ripken. Geez
I
Louise.
love that man, but let's be honest, that ball was grooved. Omar, you could have hit that out. Somebody on the Mets could have hit that out. Are you kidding me? Like,
wow, what?
Wow.
You're right. No, you're completely right.
So many shots at the Mets tonight. Jesus.
I know.
We might as well just keep it going, guys. We're like a half hour in, and it's just been Mets slander. So
It's just been Mets slander the whole time.
So look, in terms of sports, right? We can compare. It's usually hard to cross-pollinate, but you can compare across sports. There's been many great performances, so we won't get into that now. But obviously, for baseball, we have to say it was right. Obviously, you have Don Larson's perfect game in the World Series, but in terms of people that were both pitchers and hitters in the same game, we have only 3 candidates, and really we have only 2. So I submit to you, in 1942, by the way, shout out Tony Reale from Around the Horn fame. He put this out in his newsletter. I love everything about this. If you want to subscribe to his Substack, it's pretty good. Anyways, in 1942, pitcher Jim Tobin of the Boston Braves hit 3 home runs in a game against the Cubs, and he also pitched a complete game. But he allowed 5 runs on 5 hits. So I think we can throw that out because
and he played for the Boston Braves. There were like 8 teams then.
Yeah, there were 8 teams then.
Come on.
Don't get caught up in semantics.
Doing it in one of the best
I don't think that counts anymore.
Stop getting caught up in semantics. I didn't say that we needed to
That's
talk
not
about
semantics. It's reality. It was only like 8 teams back then.
We're talking about performances here, sir. All right, both of y'all calm down. And then in the 60s, or no, the 70s, excuse me, maybe late 60s, 70s, early 70s. Rick Wise, pitcher Rick Wise, once hit 2 home runs while throwing a no-hitter. That would be probably the closest thing ever we've seen.
He didn't do it in a playoff game.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's completely different. And in this era with the lights on, way different than they would have been in the 70s when they barely had fucking cameras. Like, we're talking about a completely different thing, man. Let's not.
They may not have had cameras, but they had a lot of drunk fans, okay? And that counts for something.
And here's the thing. It wasn't just a playoff game. It was a high-stakes playoff game. It's a winner-go-home game for the team you're facing, and Shohei does what he did in Game 4. Yeah. Basically said, "You're not going anywhere. This is our year, and I'm taking us there." That's essentially what he said in that game.
For me to even talk about whether it was the greatest performance, like I would section that off and say maybe modern era, maybe of the decade. That's what I would do, or maybe of the last 5 years. I wouldn't say best of all time, because if you're going to do that, you might as well log off, go to your local bar, get drunk, and pass out afterwards, because clearly you're making bad choices in life. But I would definitely I agree with Reese. As long as Shohei is on the Dodgers, he's just unstoppable. And
I just want to say I endorse making bad choices for anyone watching.
I endorse making bad choices too, but
you know what this tells me? This tells me just how sorry of an organization the Angels really are. This tells me that the LA Angels are probably the worst run organization in all of baseball.
Well, then we should all feel bad. We should feel bad for Kurt Suzuki then.
Yeah, you had 2 of the best players in the league at the time. If Trout is healthy, you have 2 of the best players in baseball at the time, and you couldn't even get to the playoffs with 2 of the best players in the league.
The bottom line is they had the best player in baseball for almost a decade, and then had Shohei, and they've still just never done anything. They've wasted.
They had an entire draft. I can't remember what year it was. They had an entire draft where all 24 of their picks were pitchers, and none of them are playing.
That's crazy. That's wild.
And And Trout should just ask for. I know we're not even on the topic, but Trout should just ask for a trade at this point. and hope that he actually gets it, because
he is very loyal.
Why he is, but at what cost? Like, I know he's not going to be chasing a ring, but you deserve to win a ring. Go win a ring someplace. Don't go to LA. Go somewhere else.
Look at how sorry the A's situation was with them leaving Oakland, going to Vegas. Why they're now halfway through, they're in the middle of Sacramento. That's still a better run organization than what's going on with the Angels right now.
Ooh, you're really going to talk up Fisher? Okay, well, I don't know about that. But
at the very least, the A's are somewhat competing. They have talent. They have the talent to somewhat compete.
That's true.
And then in American League West, where you're not sure who's going to come out of it, because you don't know if Cal Raleigh's going to do the same thing next year. You don't know You don't know how good the Rangers actually are going to be. You don't know.
The A's have a superstar in the making. You saw that kid.
And then you don't know. The Astros are another year older, and they're starting to fall off. So that AL West is wide open at this point.
It was wide open this year. I mean, pretty much everyone in that
wide open
other than the
too.
Angels was in it.
It was literally wide open. It was wide open for every team except the Angels.
Yes, I was going to say, it was wide open for everyone but the Angels. And going into the last month, there were still 3 teams very much alive in it. So
the Angels played one game, and they were completely out of that year's postseason. Whether it's this year, last year, the year before, they just played opening day, and they were their season.
Funny enough, though, the Angels cost me probably the most of my parlays of anyone this baseball season. Don't trust those guys.
Yeah, definitely not.
I mean,
don't trust them.
As was mentioned, they are just poorly run, but they also don't want to invest the money that you need to build a team. Like when they invested the huge contract in Mike Trout, they didn't actually build around him. And when they did try to, they made horrible decisions like bringing Anthony Rendon on board.
I was just going to bring up the Rendon thing. I mean, they've also just brought in the wrong people. It just hasn't worked out for them.
I mean,
and the Albert Pujols contract set them back a decade and a half.
And maybe the MLB needs to explore this, where if you own a team and they're underperforming, maybe the question shouldn't be the manager or the players, but the owner. Maybe there should be a certain floor.
Yeah, but you can't do that. Ownership is ownership. It's you can own it however you want. You can do whatever. You can run it into the ground if you want. That's what owning something is. It's yours.
Oh, I'm aware of that, but I'm just saying, if a team's been mired in misery for decades and decades, hello Pittsburgh Pirates, you might as well get a proper change of ownership, and actually see them flourish for a change, even if it's just a year or two. The Reds. The Reds changed their ownership for a little bit, and look at them. They did pretty well. Sorry they knocked off your Mets, Omar, but still, they knocked your Mets up, but still, they did pretty decent. So I would think as baseball fans, we'd like to see that.
As baseball fans, but I'm just saying, I mean, imagine a world where it's like you own Walmart and people don't like the way it's run, so they're just like, you have to sell it. I mean, that would be crazy.
Yeah.
Literally, three of the top 10 worst free agent signings in the last 15 years were all made by the Angels. Josh Hamilton, Anthony Rendon, Albert Pujols.
That's not wrong. Not wrong at all.
I mean, the Mets once gave Mike Hampton almost $1 billion, so
Yeah, that's.
And watch, Rendon's going to be healthy this upcoming year because he's in a walk year, I believe. So he's finally just going to be like, "Hey, I can play."
I highly doubt they ever let him step.
I have been to the darkness retreat, and I have seen the light.
You've seen the light,
That would be really stupid if they let him come back. That would be.
He went to the same retreat that Aaron Rodgers did.
Right. All right. Well, let's retreat off of talking about shitty teams, and let's move it into the right side of that bracket that we had. So we see the Seattle Mariners and the Toronto Blue Jays. Boy, oh boy, what a Game 7 we saw last night. Toronto wins the series 4-3 off of a huge huge George Springer, Joe Carter, Kirk Gibson-esque postseason home run to win the game in the bottom of the what was that, the 7th or the 8th inning? One of the two, I can't remember right now. 7th, thank you.
I think 7th. Yeah, I was watching it.
Yeah. So this is, wow, what a series, first of all. Back and forth. The Blue Jays coming back to win the last 2 games at home and close it out. Reese, we will start with you on this one. How did you feel about the AL side of the bracket and this great ALCS?
I mean, that Seattle team was a part of a few great games. You remember that Detroit Tigers game that went to like inning 15 or whatever it was. Yeah. So I mean, they were a fun team this year, and I knew they were going to be a fun team early in the year. They were one of the few teams that could win on the road, and that's why I told you they had a chance to really go far. And they were really close. You know, you got to give it hats off to the Blue Jays, though. They just had some great performances. Obviously, what Vlad's doing is, I don't even know how we haven't mentioned this yet, what he's doing. I mean, he's hitting 440 something. His OPS is in the 1400s. We're talking about legendary Barry Bonds type stuff, and he's doing it in the playoffs. Yeah, that side, he's been so much fun to watch. He's the reason you give Toronto even a little bit of hope. I know Clement's, also hitting his behind off. He's doing great things. He has almost as many RBIs, but it's definitely the Vladdy show. I love seeing this kid flourish. I love his dad. I love him. It's fun.
Yeah, he's a fun...
Yankees lose. Oh my God, best moment in sports this year.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's a fun young kid. He brings that personality to the field. And yeah, just to let everybody know what Reese was saying, Guerrero Jr. in the postseason in 11 games has a triple slash of 4.42, batting average 510, OBP, and 930 slugging with 6 home runs and 12 RBIs. So he
led the playoffs in hits,
home runs,
RBIs, like everything.
Moore, how do you feel about the AL and this game 7?
So the Mariners, I think you and I talked about this several times. Like, I picked the Mariners or I picked like the Jays, either or. I was like, it might come down to one of those 2 teams. The Mariners, my heart breaks for Seattle because they were my sentimental pick. But I am thrilled for the Jays to actually make it. First time since '93. Hello, Joe Carter. Hello, Paul Molitor. But and for those who don't know who either of those players are, go to YouTube if you don't know who those players are, but do it after the show.
One of the most iconic walk-off home runs in postseason history.
Absolutely. And Springer basically immortalized himself in that way. And Vlad Guerrero, I'll second what Reese said. He is just chef's kiss. The way he carries himself is the homages to his father. He said he was crying after if he wants to win a ring so he can give it to his dad. Like, how can you not be romantic about baseball in regards to that? And also they've got Max Scherzer. So, the Nats also had Max Scherzer, and look what happened there. But,
we had him too. Had him too.
Well, yeah. So, you guys had him too. So we'll see if having Scherzer makes a difference. Hopefully he doesn't get left off the World Series roster.
Hey, fourth pitcher in history over the age of 41 to win a playoff game. So
absolutely,
he still got something.
And the AL was at least that side of the bracket was it was competitive. It made baseball fun to watch in the playoffs. So I'm looking forward to this World Series. Hopefully the Jays don't get destroyed. Hopefully.
Yeah, it was definitely hard. It was definitely heartbreak for the Mariners. We will talk about that World Series in just a moment. But yeah,
did y'all hear that scream in that interview where they're interviewing the one kid, and you just hear that like, oh my God, it's that tragic like just wail in the background, and
it was
that's what it's about,
scream.
man. You just feel for those guys. It's crazy to be on that side. We've all been on that side.
Yeah,
I definitely let out a couple of those, so it sucks. Only one team can advance.
Hopefully they come back next year.
Toronto was the team to advance, and AP they had a much better moment. Again, a Kirk Gibson-esque, and it was funny because the story goes that Blue Jays hitting coach David Popkins was talking to Springer after Game 5, after he had hurt his knee, and told him he was going to have a Kirk Gibson moment, and that it was his time to win this series for Toronto, and he went out and actually manifested that and brought that into existence, hitting the game-winning home run. What did you think about the AL bracket and this ALCS?
I mean, like we were talking about, it was probably the most competitive out of the two sides. We saw a lot of close games, a lot of great games, a lot of competitive games across the board. Me, I'm a firm believer of if that series is in Boston and not New York, I think the Red Sox win that series outright. I mean, that's just me personally, but I think the New York crowd did play a factor in it. I did like, obviously, Toronto kind of showed up, one up the Yankees in that next series. Vladdy's been great all postseason. Mariners have been great all postseason. And it just comes down to one thing. Omar, we talk in the NFL, the Chargers are going to Charger, right? Mm-hmm. I have coined the phrase, the Mariners are going to Mariner. And this is what they've been the last couple of years, the last few years. When the opportunity knocks, it's hard for them to take advantage. It goes back to 2001. I know I'm bringing up a lot of bad memories for Mariners fans. 2001 when they got knocked out by the Yankees. Last couple years ago when they made the wild card and were swept out by the Astros. You got to feel for Mariners fans because they're sick and tired of hearing this. They're sick and tired of being just that close. They're the only team left in baseball that still has not been to a World Series. They are the only team, which has got to be backbreaking, heartbreaking, all kinds of negative emotion you can have for a city that is just that close, especially with the season Cal Raleigh had. So it's like you feel
that's why the Supersonics got out of there.
Yeah.
Don't tell that to Seattle fans because they still yell at me every day for that.
Yeah,
unfortunately. Go ahead.
But no, I was just Toronto had the bigger moment when they needed to have it. George Springer. I mean, are we surprised that George Springer did this? I'm personally am not because
a few years ago you would have said yes.
Seeing him in Houston for the last 10 years, playing like this almost every postseason. I mean,
he struggled at first in Toronto, though. He did struggle in his first couple.
He did struggle in Toronto, but
in the playoffs.
But they also weren't a playoff team in Toronto for a while too. So
right,
you knew somehow, you knew somehow, some way, at some point, George Springer was going to have that moment, and he did it in Game 7.
Because it looked like the Mariners were going to coast up 3-1, and Brian Wu was on the bump, and I was like, okay, let's see what happens. And the next thing you know, Springer decides to turn back the clock, and here we are.
Respectfully, like the man mentioned, it never looks like the Mariners are going to coast because they're the Mariners. You're always worried that those moments are just going to escape them, like always, and it did.
And while it's heartbreaking, like I also think there's something, I'm going to bring it up again. I think there's something slightly romantic about it because our Sox were there once before. The Cubs were there once before. These tortured franchises eventually get off the schneid. They eventually get over, the hump. So hopefully one day in the next at least 5 years.
I mean, it happened for us 2 years ago. It happened for us 2 years ago. Finally, we finally got our first ring. So it happened. It happened to us. I was hoping the Mariners would get it this year because that meant that every team in our division has a World Series ring. But I think they still have the tools to do it again next year. They still have probably the best pitching in the division. It's just, are we going to get the same type of performance from Cal Raleigh that we did this year?
Yeah. How about that?
The Mariners might need a few more pieces. Sorry, Omar. The Mariners might need a few more pieces to compete. So we'll see what they do in the offseason.
They're going to need something more than Josh Naylor jumping up in the air and trying to accidentally hit the ball with his helmet. Did y'all see that crap catch he tried to pull up? That was crazy.
What is going on?
That is, what are you doing? A pirouette in the middle of the fucking baseline, dude? Get out of here.
I feel like that was something everyone did in elementary school, and he just carried it forward.
So anyway, so the Blue Jays.
Everybody knows you're supposed to slide hard into them. Come on now.
Yeah.
The Blue Jays, this is their club's World Series berth since winning back-to-back championships in 1992 and 1993. Game 1 of the World Series will be on Friday from the Rogers Center. I don't know why that's not shifting up, AP, but I'll get it out of your face in a second. These clubs, though, don't cry for me, Argentina. They are not that far away in terms of payroll. Yes, the Dodgers do have the most in the sport, but the Blue Jays still have a $280 million payroll themselves. Now, going into this series, the Los Angeles Dodgers are the 220 favorites per BetMGM, which implies a 69% chance of winning. But, and this is according to The Athletic, if the Blue Jays are looking for any hope, since the LCS round went to a best of 7 in 1985, there have been 4 times in which one team won their series 4-0, while the other team went 7 games. And the team that went 7 games won the World Series all 4 of those times. The Tigers twice, the Rockies in 2007, and the A's over y'all's Red Sox in 1988, which had my favorite baseball player of all time, the godfather of steroids, Jose Canseco himself. But that's enough about that. This World Series pits, again, a juggernaut of just talent in the Dodgers versus a very dynamic offensive team and a team that is on the hunt. Young Blue Jays. The Dodgers are the defending champions, have constructed their roster to go to postseason, after NLCS, after World Series. They have prepared themselves for this, but the Blue Jays had the better regular season record, are riding a little bit more of a momentum, do have Vladimir Guerrero. I mean, we will see what happens. What are our keys to the series? We're about to find out from our experts. We're going to start off with you, AP, on this one. How do you feel about this World Series here that we have the Los Angeles Dodgers versus the Toronto Blue Jays?
The key is going to be Toronto's pitching, to me, because you know you're going to be in a battle with the opposing pitching you got there with the Dodgers. I mean, you got Blake Snell going game 1, for Christ's sake. If Toronto has to compete pitching wise, otherwise it's going to be a long series. You got to be able to generate runs. Vladdy's got to do Vladdy things, and let's not forget, we could be getting Bo Bichette back for this World Series. Ooh. So that could be another game changer that Toronto has up their sleeve. But yeah, I think it's all going to come down to Toronto's pitching. If Toronto can have good pitching, solid pitching in this series, I think they have a chance to steal this World Series.
All right, Reese, what is your key to this World Series and your thoughts?
I mean, I've already told you, I don't think they have a chance. He just brought up why they don't have a chance. They don't have the pitching. Other than Kevin Gausman, who do you really trust on that staff? I know Varland's pitching okay, but okay is not going to cut it when you go in there versus this Hall of Fame lineup. Plus, you have to go against, like he just mentioned, Blake Snell on the other side, 3-0, 0.86 ERA. He's been untouchable. He's gone up versus just as good of lineups as this. They're not going to touch him, bottom line. And then after that is Glasnow, who's also sub-1. There's just too many arms. After Gausman, there's no one you trust in Toronto. They're going to give up runs. They're going to give up too many runs, and it's 4-1 LA.
I mean, Reese is very down on the Blue Jays, but they have a hot offense. And
I'm not down. They don't have a hot offense. They have a hot 2 guys. They have Vladimir Guerrero, who's playing the greatest baseball we've ever seen a guy play in the playoffs. What happens if he isn't that Vlad? What happens if he comes back to earth? Then there's no one on that team you really fear. I know he said Bo Bichette might come back, but he hasn't played in a while. We don't know what Bo Bichette. Clement's having a great postseason. But the bottom line is, after those 2 guys, they don't have anyone hitting over 250. No one's really doing a lot. They've just relied on some key guys. That's it. The other offense is balanced. The Dodgers have 5 hitters that are hitting near 300. They've got a plethora of guys with 4 and 5 home runs. Teoscar's having his best playoffs that he's had as a pro. Mookie's hitting close to 300, and we know what Ohanty is. There's just too much on each side. There's too many bats. There's too many arms. I feel for Toronto. I really hope they could get 3 games or 2 games out of this, but I think it's 4-1.
By the way, I thought that it was an accident at first, but I love how you continue to call him Ohanti instead of Otani, like he's Pocahontas or something. Like he's a fucking
I'm adding a little aura to his name, right?
Yeah, okay.
It sounds way more like samurai, like Ohanti.
Oh,
so I mean, Amul, a couple things we talked about. Guerrero's postseason already. Yep. The Dodgers pitcher has been talked about now. Their starting pitchers over 10 starts have a 1.40 ERA and 64 and a third innings. Opponents hitting 132 batting average against them. What are your thoughts on this series?
Well, pitching has already been discussed for the Jays. I'm going to bring up defense, which I realize admittedly isn't very much. But Reese is right, and AP's right. Like the Dodgers bought or went out and bought championships. That's what they've done. Their GDP is equivalent to Egypt. The Jays, meanwhile, are in 52nd place with an equivalent GDP to Greece. Greece is at 282 million. So it's gonna come down to situational hitting, actually having hot players. You need more than Vlad, you need more than Springer to win. And I was thinking about this last night, right as the game ended. Like if the Mariners had won, then it would have started in LA. And since the Jays won, it's going to start in Toronto. I think that home field advantage is going to do something a little bit. Like the Canadians are just, we're all going to have us all singing "Oh Canada." I really do hope that the Jays are able to steal at least 1 or 2, but I really don't want the Dodgers to because they're going to run roughshod, and at some point we're going to be sitting here talking maybe in the future. And it's going to be like, who can dethrone the Dodgers, And I just don't see it happening unless Toronto can get the job done defensively. Because pitching, you only have one good pitcher. You have Gausman. You maybe have Scherzer if Scherzer decides to turn back the clock. That's it. And there's only so much you can do. So they've got to play this the right way. Otherwise, it's just not going. It's going to go very bad very quickly. I'll leave it.
You guys keep bringing
there.
up this. The reason they're at home is because the Dodgers weren't on the field all year. The pitching staff was completely riddled. It was completely messed up. At the end of the day, if these Dodgers were on the field all year, that team would have won 110 games. Like you're going to see, it's just going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy.
Well, I mean, look.
You want to talk about what ifs in this scenario? Can you imagine if Freddie Freeman's agent didn't mess up his contract with the Braves, if we would be talking about the Dodgers in this situation right now?
Yeah, really.
If Freddie Freeman was still in, if Freddie Freeman was still in Atlanta and not with the Dodgers,
not really.
That'd be crazy.
Not the same way.
Well, look, I'm going to need y'all to stop with the disparaging remarks about the Blue Jays rotation, all right? Not just Kevin Gausman, but I want everybody on here to acknowledge my impact trade deadline trade of Shane Bieber has been excellent after all y'all shit on it. Second of all, you also have the young Trey Savage, as I like to call him, the Savage himself coming up, only 23 years old.
He's been excellent. What is your mark for excellence? I'm not saying he hasn't been good, but he's been excellent.
Did you know Trey Savage was a Blue Jay before you talked about before you?
I did.
Shane Bieber has 1 win in these playoffs. One win.
Yeah.
That's excellent for someone coming off of Tommy John. Okay, don't be disparaging him. Okay, and
Justin Bieber has more wins in the MLB playoffs than Shane Bieber does.
I did know Trey Savage because I opened a box of cards that had him in it earlier this year.
Guys, we have half as many wins as Shane Bieber does this postseason, and we're not on the damn field.
Max Scherzer. Yeah. What are we forgetting about Mad Max? Are we?
I brought up Mad Max Scherzer.
He's still there.
Max Scherzer.
I love Mad Max, but Father Time's undefeated. He's not Cy Young Max Scherzer, and he's
not. I said if he turns back the clock. That's what I said.
No, you did, but he's going to have to turn that thing way back. We're talking he needs Marty McFly and Doc to take him in a time machine to like the 90s. Like, let's be serious.
I think if the Blue Jays want to turn this series on its head, they got to get to Blake Snell early. If you get to Blake Snell early, that completely throws off the entire Dodger game plan for game one.
But no one's gotten to him early, middle, or late. Why is it going to
That's what I'm saying. It's like,
AP, what do you mean by getting to him early? How many runs do you think the Jays should put up before it's considered safe? To like the Dodgers aren't going to come back. 4 runs, 5 runs. How many?
No, listen,
how
with
many
Kevin
runs
Gausman, I think this is a low-scoring game. I think this is a 3-2 type of game. This game one,
and we don't even know who's pitching for the Blue Jays. That's the thing. We don't even know who's pitching game one. They haven't announced yet.
No, I know
it's going to be it's going to be
Savage.
It's going to be Reese, and then I'll come out of the bullpen.
I just told you it's going to be. They already announced it. I just checked. It's Trey Savage. It's the young buck, 23 years old, going in starting game one of the World Series. No fear for the young buck.
6-1 Dodgers.
Okay. Anyways,
well, I don't know about that. I'm not going to say 6-1 Dodgers, but he'll keep it competitive.
Well, look, we have to get AP out of here because he's a hardworking man and he has another show to get to. So, AP, we're going to get your World Series pick.
Actually, I'm good, man.
You're good now?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Yeah,
okay.
We don't. Cool. Well, like I said earlier, we're not doing the wrestling show tonight, so I'm good for a little bit longer.
Oh, okay. Well, we're still doing this anyways. The World Series champ, MVP, Cy Young. Reese, you said 4-1 for the Dodgers, correct?
Yep.
All right. Who you got, AP, in the World Series champion?
I'll go 4-2 Dodgers. I'll go 4-2 Dodgers.
4-2 Dodgers. I am as well, Amul, going 4-2 Dodgers. I believe that the Toronto Blue Jays do have a hot enough offense, but again, I believe the Dodgers are just the wrecking crew that they are. We save you for last. What are your thoughts?
I want the Jays to upset the apple cart so badly, but I'm going to have to say 4-2 Dodgers because, you have to look and see how things are shaking out. But I'm happy. I'll be the first person to tell you I'll be happy if I'm wrong. I'll be completely thrilled. If, like,
do you believe in miracles?
Listen. There's a reason why I'm wearing a Canadian sweatshirt right now. It's because I'm rooting for the Jays. I would like the Jays to, but I also want to bring up this because I heard about it. I've heard that if the Jays or if the Dodgers win this World Series, that people are coming out saying that something is wrong with baseball. So I don't know if that's something you want to talk about now or later, Omar, but that's something we can touch on later on.
Go ahead.
Because I know you're wrapping up. I mean, I think if the Dodgers win this, there's sure. Well, why not? Let's say there's something wrong with the MLB as far as the amount of the Dodgers are buying this championship. They are, and I was just thinking about this. They are the Golden State Warriors before LeBron and Cleveland knocked them off. So, we're just waiting for the right team to knock off the Dodgers at this point.
The LA Dodgers are the 97 Marlins every freaking year. Remember what the Marlins did in '96 when they got Bonilla, Sheffield, they just brought the world over there.
Jeff Conine.
Right.
Yeah, the Dodgers do this
like the 97 and 03 Marlins combined.
Yeah. Well,
I will ask you guys this: if the Dodgers do lose this series, how big of a disappointment is it if you're a Dodgers fan?
I mean, it's huge. You shouldn't lose any at all. But
yeah, I think
for Magic, it's the worst day since he found out he had AIDS.
Don't do that.
Let's be honest.
There we go. There goes Ball and Buds.
Second worst day of his life if they lose this one.
At least he has the Dodgers because Lord knows the Commanders are heart garbage right now.
Yeah.
Well, AP, I'm good enough sport to do this, but I want to thank you for ending the Commanders season early. I appreciate it because gives me more time to watch baseball. But, that was a drubbing we took. That was a massive drubbing. So it is what it is, ladies and gents.
It is what it is.
The 32nd ranked defense, too, by the way.
Yeah, horrible. Very, very
and
horrible.
And Jaden Sides is finally starting to show. I mean, all of a sudden, he can't stay on the field. He's getting banged up. Last year, somehow he avoided that. But I have him on my fantasy team. It's killing me right now. The guy just can't stay.
And there are 3 pieces. There are 3 pieces this week on whether he should be compared to RG3. New York Times is carrying it. Athletic and New York Times are the same.
Come on, let's not put that mojo on the kid yet.
I'm just saying
that.
I'm just and USA Today. A lot of publications. 3 publications are talking about it. So well, I don't think he's RG3 either, but it's too early to talk about it.
Listen,
as well.
journalists don't have souls. That's why we're podcasters, boys.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
Right, cool.
We've got souls.
Those are your World Series champions. The Dodgers are unanimous for the table. Now we will go around and we will give you our MVPs and our Cy Youngs. Before we do that, let me give the odds here, as most of the odds are wholly in favor of one candidate, except for the AL MVP, which Judge is a 150 favorite and Cal Raleigh is a 110 underdog. All the other ones are highly in favor of the leader, who we'll talk about in just a second. So let's go through these one by one. We'll save the best one for last. But let's start in the NL MVP. Again, Shohei Ohtani is the massive favorite over the second place of Juan Soto. You also have Kyle Schwarber there as well, who hit 50 home runs. So let's go around the horn with your NL MVP. Amul, we'll start with you.
Shohei the Samurai.
Okay. Shohei did hit 55 home runs, 102 RBIs, 108 walks, 20 stolen bases, leading the NL in runs scored, slugging percentage, OPS, and total bases. But Juan Soto did have an amazing, not only second half of the year, but overall year when it was all said and done. Does that sway your vote, Reese?
No.
Nope.
It's the way he said it. It's the way he said it.
I tried.
It's not at all. No.
I tried to sway.
That's the way you're. Soto will never win a ring again. Sorry.
That's not true. Don't say that. AP. What about Schwarber? A lot of people wanted to put Schwarber up there as well.
I am picking Kyle Schwarber before Juan Soto. I'm sorry.
Okay, but not
Shohei's definitely winning it, but I think Kyle Schwarber's season was more impactful than Juan Soto. That's just my opinion.
I mean, that's fair because the Phillies made the playoffs, so I'll take that. If Soto would have been better in the first half of the year as he was in the second half, we would have made the playoffs hands down. But he didn't get off to a good start. I mean, think about it.
Blaming Juan Soto?
No, not at all. I'm not blaming Juan Soto.
You just said if he had the same year in the first half and the second half, we make the playoffs. That's solely putting it on the man.
No.
But here's the thing, Omar. Weren't you guys leading the division in the first half with Juan Soto playing bad?
Bashing the Mets. We're not going back.
You guys were in the division.
We spent the whole damn beginning of the episode. We're not doing this, okay? Look, it was everybody's up and down season. The pitching rotation sucked. Francisco Lindor, Pete Alonso, everybody was up and down. All I'm saying is imagine if Soto would have played that great the whole year round, he would have powered us into. I'm not saying it's so.
Imagine if everyone on the team would have played like him that second half. I mean, those are fun to do.
Imagine if Soto actually played like he did on the 2019 Nationals. He'd actually have done something.
I know you came on the show to cape for Juan Soto, Captain Saba. Oh, geez Louise. All right, let's move on to the American League Cy Young Award. The leader in the clubhouse on the odds is Tarek Skubal, who was your reigning not only Cy Young winner, but Triple Crown winner for pitching last year. But I know we got 2 Red Sox fans.
He didn't win the Triple Crown this year.
Go ahead. Might as well go. I know you're going to vote for. What about your boy Garrett Crochet? Give it to us.
Of course it's Gary Crochet. Come on. You saw what the difference between the Red Sox with him compared to where they were before him. The Tariq Skubal, all you saw the Tigers do was fail late in the year and almost lose that whole dang thing. They choked up the division and almost choked up the wild card. He wasn't fantastic. And Garrett Crochet, led the league in Ks, led the leagues in innings pitched, was right there in wins in ERA. I know he was like 6th in ERA, but it was close. They were all in the 2s. It's not that significant of a difference.
He was sub-2 for a while, too.
That's what I mean. Yeah. So I don't think that's going to hurt him. The bottom line is, like I said, I thought if you guys talked about MVP isn't just the stats, it's the most impactful. What Garrett Crochet did to that Boston Red Sox team was very Chris Sale-ish. I think he's the reason we're all just elated for the future. We can't wait for next year because if Roman Anthony plays in that series, you want to talk about what ifs? If Roman Anthony is in that Yankee series, we win that series, and it's a whole different thing. But anyways, yeah, Gary Crochet, baby. Even though it'll probably be Scoobs, I'm just being honest.
Look, we might as well not even go to AP. Go ahead, Boston.
I mean, listen.
AP, hold on. Let the Boston fans have their go. Let them go.
Listen, I love being on with Reese because he makes all my points for me because we're both Red Sox fans. Like, give it to Garrett Crochet. I'm sorry, but Reese is absolutely right. If Anthony wasn't hurt, we basically would have gone further than we did this year. We would have made it out at least. I would say it would have been. We probably would have played at least in the ALCS. But, after that, we're playing with house money. Give it to Crochet because sub two is sub two. The way he pitches, I'm not even going to compare him to Chris Sale. I don't want to put that juju on him. But the ability to be like a Pedro Martinez, the ability to be like, I'm going to say it, Kurt Schilling, to be able to make that difference in a pitching staff, is leaps and bounds better than Tarek Skubal. The way that he's able to mentor Connor Early, able to mentor Toll, the fact that he can actually do that, and maybe Toll next year isn't going to be a middle relief pitcher, but he'll be a starter because of the guidance that Garrett Crochet gave him. So he made his starts. Crochet made his starts like just must see TV. So I would give it to him.
I mean, look, AP, once these Red Sox fans take their rose-colored glasses off, they will see that, like their beloved and aforementioned Pedro Martinez, Tarek Skubal is going to be the first ALC Young back-to-back winner since 1999-2000, as Tarek Skubal had a 2.21 ERA, .89 WHIP, and 241 strikeouts with almost 200 innings pitched. He also led in pitching run value and strikeout to walk ratio, according to Baseball Savant. What do you say, AP?
What did I say earlier? It's not a statistical award. It's it's Cy Young. It's most valuable pitcher in the league.
But it's not, though. It's not. When did Cy Young become MVP? It's not.
Here's the thing, though.
MVP.
What makes it more monumental for Garrett Crochet to win this?
Why is this so monumental?
Why is it so more monumental? Because they traded their best player early in the season to the San Francisco Giants. What happened after that? They said the Red Sox were going to be booty all year long after they traded Devers, and they made the playoffs.
Wow.
Because of
that's called unanimous because no one cares what the Mets fan thinks.
Here's the thing. My sentimental pick is Jacob deGrom only because he did what he did coming off of Tommy John.
Okay, Homer. Okay,
so Homer is going to run with Jacob deGrom because he's going to take that.
Here's the thing. My pick is Garrett Crochet because of the fact that after that trade, nobody had any faith in the Red Sox, and Garrett Crochet said otherwise.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Add two, Brutus. Add two.
And the Tigers gave up a 16-game lead to the Guardians. A 16-game lead.
That's true. That is true.
And Scoops had two bad starts in that 16-game collapse where he gave up over 5 runs late.
That is a very good point. I will give you that. Okay.
Well, Crochet led us to the playoffs, winning his games down the stretch.
Crochet was consistent. And just mentoring the younger players was invaluable.
Yeah,
that's a very good point. Also consistent in the National League, the leader in the clubhouse, but not by too much, but again is the steady leader is Paul Skeens. But you also have Christopher Sanchez from the Phillies there, and if Zach Wheeler wouldn't have got hurt, he would still be there. Both versions of WAR give Skeens a narrow edge over Sanchez. However, the systems are confused when stacking them up against each other in terms of Baseball Reference and fan graphs. So we'll see what happens in terms of, again, the statistics. But AP, you said it, statistics don't matter to you. So then who do you have in this NL Cy Young race?
I'm going to go Freddie Peralta.
Whoa!
Freddie Peralta.
Whoa.
You know
That's
why?
off the
Because the
board.
Brewers were the best team in the National League all season long, and Freddie Peralta was dealing all season. Nobody paid attention to it because it's the Milwaukee Brewers, and nobody if it's not the LA Dodgers, nobody's going to talk about it. And Freddie Peralta quietly had one of the better pitching seasons in a Milwaukee Brewers uniform that nobody's talking about. So if I personally had to make a pick on who I think should be NL Cy Young, I'm gonna say Freddie Peralta.
Wow, AP is on his hot take Jake shit tonight. The NL Cy Young is Paul Skeens posting an eye-popping 1.97 ERA with 216 strikeouts and only 42 walks over 182. Reese Skeens leads all qualified pitchers in ERA, WHIP, FIP, which is fielding independent pitching, and WAR. What say you?
I mean, he was the best pitcher in baseball this year. You don't fault the guy for the team that he's on. That it's an absolute joke in Pittsburgh that they're not doing more for that kid. But the bottom line is he was the best pitcher start to finish. He had the most 10K starts in the league. You already brought up the WHIP, the ERA. You were talking Pedro earlier, who I have as the greatest pitcher to ever live. We'll debate that someday, and I'll tell you why I think that. But sub-2 ERA is special. We're talking the Pedros, the Kirk Gibsons, that kind of the world. He did it in his second year as a starter. He's definitely coming to his own as the best pitcher in baseball. He's got the baddest chick on the planet, and the guy's just living our dream.
Yeah, he is. And
forget Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift, Paul Skeens, Livy Dunn is the hottest couple in sports right now.
We need to get her to more games, damn it. I don't know where you petitioned for that, but get her to the games, get her throwing out some first pitches.
Well, see, the problem is, as hot as Livy Dunn is, and please, this is no slight against you, madam, hotness isn't a talent. Okay, at least Taylor Swift actually puts out music.
Have you ever seen her gymnastics routine? You think she's not talented?
What does gymnastics do? Is she on the United States gymnastics team? Is she going to be with Simone Biles? Because if she don't go to the Olympics, then nobody give a fuck about your gymnastics after high school.
Doesn't need to, because unlike Simone Biles is ugly behind, she could make plenty of money just chilling over here.
Inspired. Simone Biles is cute. I don't know what happened.
Girl's like 4'6". She's a
I didn't say she wasn't a midget, but that's okay. You know, hey, small people need love too. I remember I had sex with a midget one time, and it was cool. She worked at a strip club. It happens. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, against the former overall pick, batters have hit 209. I'm not going to mention she was only one-legged. Batters have hit 209 against his 100-mile-per-hour fastball, 144 against his sweeper, and an insane .095 batting average against his amazing changeup. What say you?
Omar, look, can we not talk about your best sexual experiences on this show? Okay, let's keep it to baseball, buddy.
In the words of the great Michael Jordan, stop it. Get some help.
Get some help. I'm knocking balls out of the ballpark, literally. What do you got?
You're knocking something out of the ballpark. It ain't balls. Okay, so I think it's going to be well. First, I want to address this. Clearly, you think nothing of college gymnastics. Shame on you. But that's okay. That's fine. Give it to Skeens. And I don't know what his contract is. I mean, he's got 2 years left, but I think between now and then, he's going to end up being a Red Sox at some point.
Getting traded. Of course,
and Livy Dunn will start coming to Fenway more often, so she'll be on TV more often and go to more ball games. I would give it to Skeens 100%. Just he was too good. He made Pirates games watchable. And that's hard to do in this day and time. It is
because they don't like to spend money, just like the aforementioned Angels we talked about. Both of those teams don't spend money, and that's why
you can only rely on bobbleheads for so long. You know, at some point you have to put out a good product. You can't rely on architecture for too long. I mean, that park is beautiful. Speaking as my dad was a former architect, so the ability to field a team. Is something that a competent owner needs to do, but that's a different conversation. Give it to Skeens. He'll go to Boston in a year and a half, 2 years after, and then you'll cry about seeing Livy Dunn on your TV way too much.
Well, no, all that will happen then is Livy Dunn will, Paul Skeens will get his girl taken by Peyton Pritchard. Peyton Pritchard going to walk up there and take Livy Dunn because now he in the Celtics town. And Paul
Peyton
Skeens
got a bad one himself. I don't know if you've seen
Peyton got a bad one.
I haven't.
Peyton's doing just fine. I promise you.
Hey, every NBA player got a bad girl compared to some of the ones all of us have put up with.
Well, definitely compared to the midgets with one leg, you're knocking around. So.
Yeah, you're knocking around with midgets with one leg. Where are you meeting these people? I don't want to know. Like, just
hey, I've been in some shady establishments in my lifetime. Let's keep it moving to the last and best award, the AL MVP. It is the defending MVP, Aaron Judge, versus the upstart Cal Raleigh is what I meant to say there. As we mentioned over the whole episode, Cal Raleigh did amazing things as a catcher, as the captain of the team on the field, being able to hit 60 home runs and 125 RBIs with a 9.48 OPS is an anomaly for a catcher, and especially a bigger catcher, and especially anyone to hit 60. It's only been done 3 times, including by the aforementioned Judge, the defending MVP. Also, though, Raleigh was a switch hitter, as Reese mentioned. That's also impressive to the breaking. That being said, Judge does lead the AL in batting average, on-base percentage, OPS, runs scored, slugging percentage. So there is that. He leads in most of the statistical categories, so it's putting it up as a statistical edge versus this is where you come in, AP, with your emotional argument about the MVP and being able to power a team. This is really going to be put up to the test here against Judge, who is, by most people's accounts, one of the best, if not, the best top 2 players in Major League Baseball. So we will start with you, AP. What do you got on this one?
My big argument on this is, regardless of how good or not Aaron Judge played all year, we're still talking about the New York Yankees no matter what. We aren't even saying a peep about the Seattle Mariners. We're not even mentioning the Seattle Mariners as a postseason team or even as a major league team contending in general without what Cal Raleigh did this year.
True. Very true.
To me, that means he is the most valuable player. Without Cal Raleigh, you don't even see Seattle close to the postseason at all. So to me, I know stats are going to be a big thing on this, but to me, the most valuable player in this scenario is Cal Raleigh, without a shadow of a doubt, and it's not even close.
Yeah, and this will kind of prove a little bit of what you said, right, is that Judge leads in both win probability and championship probability added. But when you look at catcher being the most defensive, the most valuable defensive position in the league, Fangraphs has him ranked as the 4th most valuable defender in the AL. Not even catchers. 4th most valuable defensive player in the whole AL. And that includes Aaron Judge in the outfield and everybody else. Reese, who do you got in this award?
Listen, everything he said was right. And if we're talking should be, Cal Raleigh should be the AL MVP this year. But it's going to be Aaron Judge. The numbers are just too daunting. We're in a league right now where pitchers dominated. There were only like 5 300 hitters in the league. And Aaron Judge somehow still hit 331. He hit a bunch of bombs. Obviously, he led the league in RBI. Like, he almost won the Triple Crown. He was top 5 in hits. He was top 5 in this and that. I mean, the guy was incredible. And you're talking without Cal Raleigh, with the Mariners being in the playoffs, there's no way the New York Yankees get in there, as that lineup was a shell of itself this year. Jazz didn't turn it on till late. Giancarlo Stanton was in and out. Hell, LeMahieu, who won a batting title not that long ago, got DFA'd. Like, no one in that lineup showed up. They lost Garrett Cole early in the year, and it looked like they didn't have any prayer at all. And Aaron Judge just put together another incredible year. I feel like because he's so great, very much like, and I hate LeBron James, but very much like when LeBron was so great, that those historical seasons just seemed kind of regular because he did them so often. It still didn't take away what they were, and it doesn't take away from what Aaron Judge's season was. And I just think he was the best offensive baseball player in the league this year.
Kind of like Nikola Jokic right now with his 3 MVPs, and they're talking about a 4th this year. And it's like, well, these players, they're so good at some point, they keep winning the MVPs. And sometimes voters do get tired of that. We've seen that plenty of times in the past.
And let's not also forget Omar, to kind of give a little bit of credit for Aaron Judge here too. They lost Garrett Cole before the season even started.
I said that. Yeah, I said that.
So it's like that right there also kind of puts a little bit more sentiment into Judge, I guess.
And that was definitely because he came out the gate and he was hitting almost 400 for the first half of the year, which is truly, truly impressive. No doubt about it. But Amol, I don't know,
he
man.
missed a little time, so those numbers would be bigger. Remember, he had that little injury there where he missed a few weeks in the middle of June or July. I can't remember, but
he carried the offense.
If he plays those games, I mean, there's a chance that these numbers are even greater. So I just don't know.
Very true. And Cal Raleigh did come out of the break with a 208 average for that first month, so he was kind of slumping out of the break. But
he was.
To me,
that's okay.
To me, Amol, I mean, again, you've got to look at the overall value that this is the MVP, most valuable. This isn't like the Cy Young, which I disagree with AP on. I don't think that's necessarily a value based, but we can talk about that another day. What do you got on this?
Yeah, I think that we will not be rising today. We will not be doing the all rise. I'm sorry, we are not going to all rise. We are not going to do any of that. We're going to sit down. And as friend of the show, Shane Peacher mentioned earlier, we're going to talk about Big Dumper. We're going to talk about, how Cal Raleigh, even though he had a slow start coming out of the break, being a switcher that, had the most home runs this year. I actually being the engine that drove, the Seattle Mariners and powered them to the ALCS. I was looking on MGM Sportsbook earlier during this show, and the AL odds have shifted to Cal Raleigh in late October 2025. MGM Sportsbook says that they are actually picking Raleigh over Judge, and Judge is in Cancun. I'm sorry, he's not playing right now. Like, he's hanging out with David Ortiz. So
it's a regular season award, though. It's a regular season award.
Even still, the fact that he just, I don't know, I kind of feel like this is where his, he can lay his bat down and rest for a minute or two. Give it to Cal. Give it to Cal Raleigh.
You mentioned it before, Omar. When voters, like with the Jokic situation, that sometimes they get tired of voting for the same guy every year.
Yeah.
This could be a situation where people look at, yes, Aaron Judge had spectacular numbers across the board. Obviously, numbers-wise, he was the better player. But this is a once-in-a-lifetime thing that you rarely see with a catcher who hit 60 home runs as a switch hitter. Is the most important defensive position on the field, where not only are you having to take command of the defense, but you also have to take command of your starting pitcher, your bullpen. You are literally the captain of everything defensively on the field.
I am
where half the time Aaron Judge is a DH and half the time he's out in right field. So
I mean, listen,
you hope that the voters.
And most of these voters are old school baseball heads too, so they understand the importance of the records that Cal Raleigh has been putting up this year. So that might actually swing their vote a little bit. Who knows?
Yeah, and again, Aaron Judge winning last year gives you more credence to be able to give to somebody else this year. It just is what it is.
Absolutely,
that's human nature. All right, and also human nature is us wanting to get out of here after an hour and a half of talking. I know I want to go chill and eat some dinner and go watch some of the tube. So anyways, hey, we really appreciate everybody tuning in. Make sure you tap in with everybody here. Please make sure you subscribe at Ball and Buds, BALLANDBUDS on YouTube. Handy QR code up there at the top will take you to all our social media. Hit that like button, whether watching now or on the replay. It is free to you, but invaluable to us. AP, thank you for coming on, subbing in again this week. I really, really appreciate you. From this Let's Talk Sports Network, we've been partners for a long time. Go ahead and sign off. Let them know where to find you.
Well, like you mentioned, Let's Talk Sports Network, also Rec Room Sports Hub, every Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Saturday, Sunday, all that good stuff. at April is 30 on Twitter if you want to follow me there. Also, April is 30, I believe, on TikTok as well, if you guys want to follow me there as well. So, yeah, definitely check it out.
You're not doing dances on TikTok, huh?
I'm not that flexible. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, another person who is flexible and was able to jump on with us today after coming back from an awesome vacation. He is also at the rec room, but not that rec room, not REC, but WREC-K, because he's going to wreck you up. My brother, Lion Reese Penn, sign off.
Yeah, you already know. Like he just said on YouTube at the rec room, IG is Lion Alone 19, but that's where you can find me. I don't have an every week thing like him. I just kind of go on when I go on.
Yeah, you haven't been on in 3 months. You need to get your ass back.
First off, it's not 3 months. It's been a month, but I was doing some things. We'll talk about that later.
I looked at the YouTube. It said 3 months in your last video, so we're not counting my channel. Amul,
yes, sir.
Sign off, my friend. Let him know where to find you.
Good evening from Ohio, everyone, where the Wright brothers play. You can find me at AM23 Photography. Also, cognitoergosum.net. I am writing. So, whereas initially I was going to go ahead and take some time off after August, and I did in solidarity with Jimmy Kimmel, and all that happened with him. You all know about it if you watch the news. But I am back to writing, and should be churning out columns through the end of the year. Be well, everybody. Stay out of trouble if you can.
And yes, stay out of trouble. Everybody be blessed, be kind to each other, go out there and help someone this week. And yeah, free speech for everybody, because you should be allowed to say what you want to say without being persecuted for that. And that goes for any and everyone on this panel and on this channel at Ball and Buds. We do support that, and we support you as you support us. So be kind, be blessed, and we'll see you next time at Ball and Buds. Holla.
Freedom!
He's with the millions.
It's that world heavyweight flow. Championship belt wrapped around my waist, yo. I got that Ric Flair figure flow. Slam you on the pavement, that's why they call me Street Pro. Create heat on beat flow. Like Jordan after the second time he three-peated, folks. Get ready, set, let's go. Fight toe to toe, release the flow created by this micro. Lights, camera, get low. Action packed, back to back. In fact, this monster will go. Y'all better let him know. Man with the master plan, and you have no need to know. You came prepared, now get ready for the show.
Appreciate